Hello everyone, and I hope you're doing well. Today we're here with an updated stun list. I have tried to build Horus Stun. Now I will say this is probably the most interesting stun list I've ever played, because it can really easily go second. If it's forced to go second, it's fine. We've got a bunch of tools for it. So without further ado, let me show off probably the most interesting stun list I've ever played / built. So this is the finalized list I came up with before I got bored of playing Stun. We did have a request for Stun, so I'll pop up the comment now. Thank you for allowing me to play a bit more Stun.
And get that evil out of me.
It's an interesting deck. If you want to ruin people's day, this is a great one. The main goal of this deck is to get one of your main monsters, Inspector Border, Banisher, Barrier, or Diner, anything like that, alongside a setup for Secret Village of the Spellcaster using either Luna or Imseti. So basically lock your opponent off of board breaker spells and lock them off special summoning or activating monster effects. Plus, probably a couple of Solemn Judgments as well. Let's go through the card by card and explain why they're here. So 2 Banisher the Radiance. As you know, most recently, the past couple of years, graveyards have been like a second hand, and turning off the graveyard for a lot of decks is really strong. Unfortunately, it is also really strong against us, so we will have to normal summon it after going through the Imseti combo. So this is a questionable pick, but I think it's still really good against the meta, so keep it in. Barrier Statue of the Torrent, Water seemed to be the best one to put in. Maybe Barrier Statue Earth, but that plays into Fenrir. So there's not really a brilliant Barrier Statue, but I think Water's probably the best one. Thunder King Ryo, not necessary. You can probably put in some more barrier statues if you want to save on the Yugioh dust, and it honestly wasn't the greatest floodgate, but having that plus something else is usually quite helpful. Diner, I mean, you have to have Diner in a stun list. Fairy Tail Luna is super interesting, this deck, and I'll tell you why. So if you have an Inspector Border, both players can only activate effects up to the number of extra deck types on the field. So if you have an Xyz, both players can activate 1. If there's an Xyz and a Link on the field, both players can activate 2, and so on. So the way to get out of Inspector Border is to kind of Link summon into something or Xyz into something. And when they do that, if you have that plus Luna, as soon as they do that, you can Luna on that and attempt to bounce both of them. If they don't have another copy, then you're back under the lock of Inspector Border, and you have your Luna back in hand. I think this is disgusting, not to mention it does activate our Secret Village spellcasters as well. Of course, we have Inspector Border mandatory. Cashier of Fenrir is nice because it goes first or second. We have the Horus package. We have 3 Imseti, 1 Dumatef, 1 Happy, 1 Quebisnef. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the minimum package. You could probably run 2 King Suck as well, but we run 3 because we want to see it as often as possible. We have 1 Pot of Duality, 1 Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Desires might be worth considering this as well. We have 2 Morganite. Again, be careful. These 2 cards, Banisher and Morganite, kind of play against you. You can't activate Imseti if you use Morganite, but Morganite does allow things like normal summon Inspector Border and Diner, normal summon Radiance and Luna, it enables the deck. But I'd never run 3, you don't want to ever see more than 1. 2 Secret Villages of the Spellcasters. I did have kind of 1 Necro Valley in here, but I realised that most of the deck doesn't, you don't need the Necro Valley. But you could definitely run 1 Necro Valley in place of one of these. But we have 3 King Suck as well, we've been over that. Super Poly is just nice for going first and second. Unfortunately, it doesn't play into the Diner or the Barrier Statue, but I mean, Mud Dragon does. But I think, again, this deck, this stun deck, I wanted to make it work going first and second, and I really do think I've succeeded with this. Next we have 2 Metaverse, literally just extra copies of Secret Village that you can fire during the standby. That's honestly it. We have some Judgments as well, 3 Judgments and 2 Iron Thunders. This is just to protect, obviously, your setup. We also have 2 Anti-Spell Fragments. This is one I have considered cutting. Maybe don't include this one. I feel like it played against me more than it worked against the opponent, because we already have the Secret Village, so it was very much overkill, but I wanted to kill every spell in the game, and of course 1 Teak Boo, because our deck actually does work with Teak Boo. Rivalry and others don't really work too well. I mean, for the extra deck, we have pretty much every super poly target you could ask for. Mud Dragon, Garura, Earth Golem, a Chimeratech Fortress isn't even it's just in case I run against some wild Cyber Dragon player. Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon, Dragostopelia, Brigand the Glory Dragon, and 5-Headed Dragon for those Tenpai players. These never really come up, but if they do, it's really funny, so you have to include it. For the XEs, we have a couple of level or rank 8s for the Horus package in case we don't see into any of our stun cards. We have Titanic Galaxy, Photon Lord, Dingirsu, Zeus, and Typhon. And for the links, we have, I always forget the name of this, Clara and Rushka. So if you normal summon a monster, you can turn it into a spellcaster using Clara and Rushka to, yeah, if you have your secret village. It really depends. If you can, the trouble is if you're going first, you don't know what deck your opponent's on. It's very much hedging your bets on, do you want like a Thunder King or do you want a secret village that can be beaten over? So that is up to you. And of course on SP as well. SP is in every deck at this point. So that's it for the deck list. Let me show you a couple of games and show you how interesting this deck can be. Going into game number 1, we're playing against one of the most hated decks in Master Duel at the moment. And I know that's rich coming from a stun player, but we're going against Tenpai. Now, this is a really interesting hand and a very easy one at that. Let's just special summon Fenrir, normal summon the barrier statue, and set a super poly. Say what you will about stun, but it is a really, really simple deck to play. Now, he's going to go Dora Dora normal summon, add a Royal Chandra, really nice Royal there. Let's go Fenrir on the Dora Dora. Unfortunately, he does have the Droplet. Of course they do. Every Tenpai player always has Droplet. He's going to send a Ghost Spell and a Genroku to negate our 2 monsters. Sadly, so now we can special summon that other than water. He's going to go Chandra effect to special summon. We do still have the Super Poly in back, and him negating the barrier statue did let us do this. Let's do the Dora Dora and the Chandra into a Garura. That should hopefully stop his plays. Yeah, it's that easy. This deck is crazy into Tenpai. If you hate Tenpai, this is certainly one of the decks to pick up. Going into game number 2, I can prove to you that going second does work with stun. At least in this particular list, we're going against Kashtira, and we are going second. Let's see how he starts. Planet Pathfinder. Unfortunately, this deck does not run a single hand trap, so he's going to go uninterrupted. And if you don't mind, I'm going to speed through this combo because I play Kashtira and I know and have done this combo many, many times. So Wraithsot will search the Unicorn, Unicorn will search the Theosis, Theosis will grab the Fenrir, Fenrir will grab the Rise Heart, Rise Heart effect will activate a special, Fenrir and Unicorn will go into Shang, Rise Heart will activate banishing the Big Bang Chainlink 1, Shang Chainlink 2 to lock a zone, Big Bang will add the Fenrir back to hand, special summon the Fenrir, and then a Rise Heart will overlay over Rise Heart. Let's see what we draw into. There's nothing amazing in this hand other than a Luna. Unfortunately, we draw into another Luna, which is probably the worst thing you could see if you have a Luna, especially summoning Unicorn off the Shang. Let's normal summon Luna, bait some interaction with the search, and thankfully we get both of them here, which is amazing because we can just go Chainlink 3 Luna, target the Rise Heart, and because a Rise Heart makes every card get banished, and you have to send to the graveyard for Luna to cancel the effect, it gets bounced. A Rise Heart is already gone, and both interaction from Fenrir and Unicorn are gone. Now we've got the King Sarcophagus, and we can start pitching. There goes Imseti by pitching one of the Lunas. Special summon the Imseti to avoid any Bestials. Let's pitch another Luna, get the Dumatef, pitch the Banisher because we don't need that anymore. Grab the Quibinesef, and let's go Battle. Unfortunately, he does have a Droplet here. Sends 3, which is kind of insane to me. He does all 3 of our guys. And we can still send the Shang, thankfully, and we do still have that Super Poly in hand, lest we forget. Let's get rid of the Fenrir and the Quebisnef to go into Mud Dragon. Unfortunately, we do have to go main phase 2 here, but we can just go into a little Dingirsu here because that Kashtira Unicorn is full combo. So let's send it to the graveyard and put him on top deck mode. And we might as well go into Typhon at this point. We might as well. Why not? Let's move on to his turn. What is he going to draw? Nothing. This deck can go second. Stun can go second. I'm telling you now, this deck is actually decent. I promise you. I've had a lot of fun with this list. Going into our third and final game, we're going against Kashtira Tenpai, a mesh of the past 2 decks, but this time we're going first and we get to show off the Secret Village Spellcaster tech. Now we have drawn Imseti and Dumatef in the hand. Let's start with Imseti, with pitching itself and the Dumatef, grab the King Sark and draw one off the top. We draw the Quebisnef, which is honestly perfect because we can pitch it, send the Happy from deck, and now we have all 4 names in the graveyard. Let's start special summoning them out. Always go Imseti to avoid any Bestials. Here comes the 4th summon. We've got all 4 level 8. Let's make our 5th summon a Monster Negate, so if there's any Nibiru, he won't be able to do it. And now we will normal summon Fossil Diner, activate Secret Village, and set a Metaverse. So let's just review this board, right? Okay. We have 1 Spellcaster here to stop him from activating any spells. And it's a big one. He can't just be over it. We have a Monster Negate. We have a Floodgate of special summoning. And then we have Happy. I mean, Happy's just cool, but good thing about Happy is if something leaves, we can just add those back. Let's see what he does on his turn. He starts with the Dora. Interesting. Let's just go for the Photon Lord. Let's stop anything from happening whatsoever. And he's going to try. He's going to try and mill. He's going to set one card. He's going to pass it back to us. Oh, Tenpai, I get my little violin out for you. Let's just go straight to battle. What the fuck is that? What is that? Blazing Mirror Force? Thank God these two live. But here comes the Happy. He's going to add back the Diner and the Galaxy Eyes back into the deck/hand. And then we can send one with Imseti. So all of a sudden, we've got 54 going directly to face. He is suddenly very, very low. And all because of that bloody Blazing Mirror Force. I can't believe it. Who runs that? Who runs that other than Stun? Let's go into the Photon Lord again after shuffling it back in. And then normal summon the Diner again. Plus another Solemn. Like, we've just created the same board again. Nothing happened. He's going to normal summon the Chandra, go into the Diner here, which is, yeah, it's a play. Is it the best play? No. I mean, we might as well pitch for King Suck. He's going to go for an Effect Veiler on the Photon Lord, which is interesting. I guess he's trying to play around getting the Chandra effect to go off when we enter the battle phase. Luckily, we do still have 2 level 8s, but ideally we want to keep the Spellcaster up. Remember that. That's why we've sent another Imseti here. So Dumatef will come out and another Imseti will come out. And he realizes it. So we just go for Dingisu and send the Chandra, and then we win because he can't activate any spells. So yeah, that's probably one of the best boards this deck can put up. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. So that's it for the games. Let's do a quick rundown on how I think the deck performed. Now, some very astute viewers may have noticed that my shirt has become intensely more colourful, and that is because we are in the future from when I recorded those games. Whilst I was editing, Konami released a ban list. And, of course, mid-video, mid-edit, they banned the key card of this deck. So, not only do Inspector Border and Imseti no longer have a home, Luna is going to be wandering the streets. It's a sad day to say goodbye to this deck, whilst I understand Secret Village does need to go. But we have a couple of days left until it's banned, so make the most of it. Use the Secret Village before it goes away on February 6th. Overall, though, I think this deck is one of the most fun stun decks I've ever played. As you see, it can go first or second, which is really rare to find in a stun list without a side deck. Anyway, that being said, if you made it this far in the video, please do feel free to hit subscribe. New Yu-Gi-Oh videos each week, and as always, happy dueling.